how are you comforting your customers to
Mm.
continue to stay long term? Because from what I
Mm.
understand, you guys are very much long term kind of investors. Because I mean, you
Mm.
buy ETFs, you buy gold, diversified portfolio. If you're not long term, I don't know what you lah. Huh? So chances you are
Yeah, we
long.
are long.
Yeah. So as long investors, and as a robo advisor, I think one of your challenge will probably be a lot of
Yeah.
younger customers coming on and being new to the space. They may not have the comfort and capacity to tide through. So how are you guys helping them to understand the situation that actually this is just a natural market thing, and what are you guys doing to just kind of work with them and give them comfort?
Yeah, yeah. So actually, just one aspect of your question there, I want to frame. I think it's also a common misconception that robo advisors attract only new and inexperienced customers and investors. In fact, our leading customer segment is actually bankers, followed by government servants in Singapore, followed by people in tech and then consulting. So these are pretty savvy people. In Malaysia, it's bankers as well, because bankers know a good deal when they see one. They know they've been ripping off clients for the longest time. They also want to invest their money overseas, right? So they are the leading segment here.
Sorry, I really wanted to jump in there because you did mention offhand there, bankers notice or they know a good opportunity when they see one. Like
for sure.
For those who because there's also a bunch of people here right now watching who might not be bankers, they might not understand that. What is that opportunity that you're referring to?
Yeah. So I think banks are set up in a way where really their operating structure is very expensive. So it's not, for asset management specifically, is the distribution or the selling of ETFs, which are very or funds or unit trusts, which are very expensive. So because they get more fees distributing unit trust, they tend to charge a lot more. So what I was referring to is those bankers know that unit trust itself is very expensive, and when they see a platform like ours, which has no sales charge and only 0.8% management fee, they're like, yep, this is a good opportunity. And they also know that it's very hard to invest overseas, right? So it's very hard for investors to access global markets because there's FX charges. Sometimes you need to open accounts for Malaysians, you have to open accounts in Singapore or Hong Kong to do that. And it's not easy to do that, right? If the KYC is very high. So so that's why I think bankers like our platform. But coming back to Reggie's point about how we are communicating with investors and how we are faring in this environment with some outflows. So first of all, I'll say obviously people are never happy when they see negative returns. So we have experienced higher than normal outflows. I can't be specific about the numbers, obviously, but I would say that in Malaysia, the inflows are still as high as the outflows. So basically, we're net neutral and slightly positive on some days. Whereas in the bad times when the markets were down, 10+% on one day, we did see obviously some net negative outflows, which is normal. People panic a little bit. So I will say that that's normal, but on the whole, we are really quite kind of neutral now. In Singapore, we are still very much in the positive. Again, because we have different choices, right? We have a money market fund there, we have an income portfolio there, right? So people naturally want to switch between these different funds. And the point I like you mentioned, Reggie, is about the communication, right? If let's say we had some of our money invested with a fund manager, you probably won't even get an audience with the fund manager, right? Like what's your asset allocation now? How much is in cash? What do you think of this stock? What do you think of this? Like there's no communication because the active fund managers, they cannot call out their plays because every active manager is competing against an active manager. I can't say like my big bet is on this small cap because then everyone will flood in, right? So naturally their comms is also limited. So for us, we really focus on the facts. So in all our conversations, and you'll see this with our CIO insights, you'll see this with the market update on YouTube, you will see it inside the app as well. If you're a StashAway customer, you will see the inside the app. What you will see is that we always talk about two things. We talk about personal finance best practices, the things we talked about earlier, and then we talk about what is happening in the market to give a sense, right? We don't light our hair on fire, run around and saying like the end is nigh, right? Like we give you numbers, we give you past data, we frame the issue, right? We don't sugarcoat things either, right? We tell you where it is, and then we try and come back to those fundamental personal finance and investing best practices like having a cash buffer, not using leverage, investing in a risk portfolio that suits your risk profile, right? And seriously thinking whether you are in it for the long term or not, right? Whether you're liquid or not. So yeah, I mean it's very disingenuous to change the facts, and it's not like we do that. So what we've found to be very useful is to reiterate again and again and again. And for us, it feels like second nature because we are a bit more, we're in the biz, right? But it is very reassuring for investors. We feel, and I think we are being very genuine by sticking to the messaging and aligning ourselves to the customer, because obviously they know they are going through tough times. One last thing, our customer service or customer engagement team is also available on hand. In Malaysia, we have a team of 10. So it's not an annoying chatbot that crashes when you ask about stuff. It's people, right? Human AI, right? Actual intelligence, not artificial, right? If you have questions about anything, where your money is, whether it's invested or not, how the markets are doing, what my performance. If I don't understand something on the platform, you can just WhatsApp us, you can call us, right? And this psychiatric help actually really helps in these times.
Hey, this is CS from More Money Malaysia. We are a platform dedicated to helping Malaysians like you make smart financial decisions. And the way we do that is through providing you with actionable advice, such as the video you just saw, right? But we're not here just to become your intellectual entertainment. We really do want to see you succeed, because we want to see you live that ultimate life that you've always dreamt of, right? And in order for us to do that, what we've decided to do is we want to help make it easier for you by providing different types of rewards throughout the months. So make sure you check out the description below, click on that link and see what type of reward you might be able to qualify for by taking action right now. And if you have any other questions about any of this, feel free to contact us wherever you find us. Take care.